When you're scuba diving, breathing isn't something you take for granted. To be safe, you need to be aware not only of your remaining air supply, but how gases behave and the way that affects your body. When we're at rest, we inhale and exhale about half a litre of air with every breath. That's the same volume as you find in a drinking bottle like this. So these scuba tanks weigh about 30 pounds, about 15 kilos in metric. And the reason they're built so heavy is because they have really thick walls to be able to contain all the gas that a diver needs to breathe underwater. So the question is, how many breaths would we get out of a cylinder like this? Just looking at its volume, you'd probably say, what, maybe 20, 25 at the most? Well, that's not going to last us very long underwater. But fortunately, air is a gas, which means that we can compress it. And in this case, we can compress it almost 200 times. That'll give us about 4,500 breaths underwater. Or for an inexperienced diver like me, that's probably half an hour, maybe at the most. So right about now, you're probably wondering, how do you get 4,500 of my breaths into that tank? Well, fortunately, we have an air compressor here, which I think I might be able to just get hooked up. There we go, and it should do all the hard work for me. So as you can see, the compressor forces air into the tank. The pressure on the walls of the tank increases. The more air that's pumped in, the higher the pressure. This relationship between gas pressure and volume is known as Boyle's law. Okay, so now we've got a nice full tank, 4,500 breaths inside it. Feels really nice and warm because all those molecules that are in the air are all packed into this tiny space. Not only that, but it also feels heavier. I'd say this one weighs about 17.5 kilos. And if we compare that to an empty tank, I just happen to have here, we're looking at about 15 kilos. So let's have a think, that's about 5 pounds, which is equivalent to a house brick's worth of air. Man, it's hot here in Tortuga, but like all places that you scuba dive, diving is about planning your dive and diving your plan. If you dive deeper than about 60 feet and you come up too quickly, the gases come out of solution in your blood and can form bubbles in your tissues, creating a potentially lethal condition called the bends. All right, I admit it, I'm not in the tropics, unfortunately. I'm just here at my local pool. But I can show you how Boyle's law works. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark 500 milliliters on this graduated cylinder, and then we're going to dive into the pool and see what effect the pressure of the water has on the gas inside the cylinder. That's Boyle's law. Look at the volume of air in the cylinder. It's decreasing as I go deeper. That's because the ambient pressure in the water around me has compressed the gas. That's pretty amazing. Now imagine what the increased depths of the ocean can do to the gases and tissues in your blood. Understanding gases allows us to be safe while diving.